Is it your understanding that the league will, the public signal has been they'll go ahead with their hearing to strip both Sterlings of ownership on Tuesday? Someone who's very familiar with the process told me that they understand that that could happen and that the league could still then honor the bidding process that you went through. Is that your understanding about how this is going to go?
You'd have to ask specific questions about how the league will handle this to the league. They're best to speak for themselves. I'm going to go through the process of being approved, and there's certainly some complexity. It's a dynamic situation, and I have great confidence in Adam Silver, the commissioner, and the rest of the league to do things very well.
Has he called you about this?
I have spoken to him.
And what did he say?
He said, I'm excited for you. I'm excited for you to be an owner in the NBA. You got to go through an approval process.
Yeah. You're not done
I appreciate there's some complexity. So, I mean, about what you'd expect. But, you know, I've been talking to him, and it's not like I'm a new face. I've sniffed around a couple other teams, and I'm not a new face to the league. I had a chance to meet some of the owners last year as part of the Sacramento deal. So.
I think you're sort of, as we say in the car loans or other, you're pre-approved, maybe.
Well, I'm not pre-approved. I'm actually not pre-approved. That's a very formal process here, but I'm known.
You're known. Okay. As you know, a lot of hoopla, a lot of buzz about that maybe you're going to Seattle. I have even been trying to tell people that given the finances, and I think you've said this, it just doesn't make any sense to take the team to Seattle. Are you making that pledge not only here, but is that going to be part of the sales agreement that you pledge to keep the team here in Los Angeles?
I'm keeping the team here in Los Angeles. I'm excited to have a team in Los Angeles. The whole proposition, my aspirations and dreams for the Clippers can only be realized in Los Angeles. It's a great city. I've never lived here, but you know, I visited a lot. I've had a son who's been at USC.
He just graduated, right?
Yeah. He's got a couple classes to finish. But yes, basically he's been down here the last 4 years, and I'm excited to spend some time. I think I'll probably be teaching a class. I've been talking about this anyway at the Marshall School. I've been talking to Dean Ellis. I was the commencement speaker at the Marshall School this year, and I was the main commencement speaker at SC 3 years ago. So got a lot of enthusiasm to be here and look forward to owning this team. And the only way any of this makes sense, my desire to spend time in Los Angeles, this team, its aspirations, this community, this purchase price, any of that is to really kind of live out the dream and make this kind of America's team, the Los Angeles Clippers.
I'm glad you brought that up, because that's the next thing I wanted to ask is, clearly there's been this, everybody in the country, I mean, someone was saying today on the radio, I think it's true, that housewives and people who weren't otherwise basketball fans are now kind of riveted by this whole story. I mean, ironically, do you think this could end up being a benefit because people so much want to see an owner that's supportive of the community and that seems to be, open to people of all races? And do you think there is a chance to make this, sort of America's team?
Well, there's a very unusual set of circumstances. There's no question. There's a whole lot more focus on the situation. The team is a great team. Start right there. People love a great team, and Los Angeles is a center of the world. And I do think we have an opportunity to really be a model of the right way to get involved with community, to be inclusive, to really represent the community and do a great job on that. And I'm excited to have a chance to do that on what is now actually a pretty big stage. It's not just Los Angeles, but for me, that's a great opportunity and a great trust.
Anything you see that immediately you'd like to change about the team? Name them, maybe the Sonics or something, or just kidding. But seriously, is there anything that you see immediately that you think you can take advantage of? Maybe it is this America's team concept, or is there something that would be a short-term change maybe for the Clippers?
I have big dreams for the team. I mean, I'd love to win a championship. I'd love the Clippers to be the most dynamic, vibrant team and name in professional sports. But I got a lot to learn. And I learned from being at Microsoft, the first thing you do is you put yourself in the middle, you learn, you hear. They're great professionals who do their jobs, like Doc Rivers and many others who will really, quote, drive this thing and make it happen. And my job is to listen and figure out how to support and but be clear, I got big dreams and aspirations for the Clippers on the court and off.
Okay, and let's talk about the business aspect then. That you see already, people are chattering about how do you make this back. I mean, the same thing happened with the big Dodgers sale. Why is $2 billion when obviously your competitors went with big numbers, but not that big a number? Why is $2 billion a reasonable number for this team?
Well, in a sense, you could say my aspirations for the Clippers on court are matched by my sense of how to think about these things financially. When you buy a tech company, you don't say, what is it? You say, what can we turn it into? And that's a financial statement and a product statement, because mostly you buy little companies and you're trying to say, how do we take that and make it something big?
Right.
When people invest every day in some of the stocks like Twitter or Amazon, they either have no profits, negative profits, very small profits, and people will buy in at these huge valuations.
Right.
In a sense, you could say, relative to the amount of profits it's making, this is one of the cheapest things I've ever bought.
It's less than Skype, right?
Well, it's less than Skype
Yeah.
as a multiple of earnings. It's less than Amazon as a multiple of earnings. It's less than Twitter has no earnings.
Yeah.
So I could say I'm used to thinking about how you take a business and scale it up and make it successful. Of course, that's got to start with the product, which in this case is a great basketball team that does a great job on the court.
Okay, so some other folks are already scheming, and they're noting that this guy, LeBron James, is eligible for free agency this summer. You're going to bring him to LA, right? Or try?
I want the Los Angeles Clippers to win championships. And until I, A, get approved, B, actually close and own the team, and C, know something, I'll just say I have a big, bold dream for the Clippers, and that's to win, and I'm sure the professionals there with the right support will figure it out.
Now, I know you got some other money left over after this, but some people are going to be concerned. You spend so much on the team. Are you really going to be ready to pay for free agents and to make the kind of investments that you need to make to be competitive that we've all seen? I mean, the teams that spend, they win, and the ones that don't. But you're prepared to make those kind of investments.
I want this team to be successful. There is no question about it. Now, the first part's first. I got to get approved, and we got to close the deal.
Right.
But I'm all in when it comes to really thinking about how to be successful on the court. And I don't know what that means, but I know I'll support the people who do.
Okay. Who else have you talked to besides the commissioner? Have you talked to Doc Rivers or had a chance to talk to any other people with the organization yet?
I'm going through the process. The league has a bunch of rules, which now that we actually signed our term sheet,
right.
I got to make sure I study up on the rules, because I know there are rules that say owners or prospective owners can't talk to players in some ways, and so I'm learning about all that. I want to make sure I am entirely by the book. So I'll of course, see Dick Parsons. I know Dick Parsons from Microsoft Time Warner days.
Right.
We'll reconnect in the new role, and then.
Are you meeting him later today, for instance?
I will meet him today. Yeah.
Oh, you will? Okay. And what about Doc? You don't know if that's permissible yet, or?
I'm going through that and talking to the league about it. I'd love to, but I got to make sure I'm doing everything kind of the right way.
Right. What exactly did you buy here besides the team? So you don't get the building, obviously.
No.
And you got about 10 more years on a lease there, I think, right? Is that correct?
Yeah. There's a number of years, about 10 years.
Okay.
Right.
The practice facility out by Playa Vista, is that part
That's
of this deal?
owned separately from the team, but certainly the term sheet anticipates the Clippers continuing to practice in the current practice facility. Yes.
Okay. And was that when you purchased the team? Did you also purchase that, or would have to be a separate arrangement?
There's a contemplated lease with the team to continue in the practice facility.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. So I think you can expect the Clippers to stay there, but not necessarily with me as the owner of that building.
Okay. So we had one fork in the road here. There have been so many. Was that Shelley Sterling was adamant through her representatives not that long ago that she wanted to maintain a piece of the ownership. And then this obviously became a deal for the whole team. What happened there? Do you know at what point she decided, no, I'm going to sell 100% of the Clippers?
I think it's very important to Shelley, and I think given all she has done through this process to try to support a good outcome for the Clippers, a very difficult situation, clearly, and it was important to her. She put the Clippers first, and I'll give her a lot of credit for that. And she's a heck of a Clippers fan. I mean,
yeah.
She's a heck of a Clippers fan.
Give me an example. What did she say about the Clipper? What did she say about
she
the team?
She likes the team. She likes the players. She every time they win, she's got a tradition. They go out, and her and some of her friends, and have a toast. And she loves going to the games and has a lot of energy about it. And one of the things that was very important is for her, given all she's doing now, this is a very tough transition, but given everything she's doing, to give the Clippers the best path forward. She wanted to make sure she could continue to be kind of the number one fan, the number one supporter, the owner emeritus, if you will.
Right.
And so we're all doing the best we can to support her in that.
Okay. And does that, I assume that includes she'll have some position that she can go to the games and have a box or something like that?
Yeah,
or
absolutely.
Have some sort. Will we see her at courtside next year?
You'd have to ask her, but she would certainly be.
She would be welcome.
She
would be welcome to be there. Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay. So even though her husband's banned and presumably will remain banned from the NBA, she's welcome to sit at courtside and do what she wants to do. Now, I'm just going to play devil's advocate here. Some people who are really upset with Shelley Sterling.
That's assuming everything gets approved, but that's right.
Some people are really upset with her, though, because of this case, and there's a whole, our paper just wrote about a housing discrimination case that she's been cited in, and won't be happy maybe to see her there, even though she clearly is supportive of the team. What would you say to those people who maybe just are done with both of the Sterlings?
I met Shelley a week ago. We've had all incredibly good interactions. I don't know all of the history and the detail and the past, but I've talked with the league about this, and certainly will follow the league's lead, and the league is great having her continue to. I think you'd have to ask the league, but I'll follow the league's lead on this.
Your understanding is that they're okay with her being around being at the building, going to games, and having a role as a
great fan. Yes,
okay.
That's my complete understanding.
Okay. You went into this alone, unlike all these other folks who also have a lot of means to pull this off if they'd wanted to alone. I guess that made it easier for you to maneuver, but do you plan on picking up any partners at any point in this? And it seems significant to some of the other groups that they have a prominent African-American partner in the team. You've obviously got a coach and players who are black, but can you talk a little bit about that?
I think the most important thing for the success of the Clippers is to be able to move on. And so I'm going to stay nimble, flexible, until I can get approved, until we can get the deal closed, and then I get a chance to pick my head up and consider other things. Certainly this notion of being inclusive and having the community broadly embrace the team and vice versa, that's very important to me. Me specifically, that's very important. But if we want to give the Clippers the best chance to get there, there's still a lot of complexity to go in this process. I think I'm best off focusing on getting through approval and closing by myself.
Just to salt it away, did the NBA or anyone in this, did they ask that it be part of the agreement, the sales agreement? And is it part of the sales agreement that you're not moving the team?
This team's staying in Los Angeles, California. There is no question about it.
And I assume the owners before weren't going to approve the move of another team to Seattle, so there's no, even if you wanted to do it, the owners aren't of a disposition to let you move.
Well, certainly they did not approve the relocation to Sacramento, to Seattle. That is correct. And I have absolutely no interest. I love Seattle. We have our kids grew up in Seattle. We will continue to have houses in Seattle and all of that, and I will spend time also, a lot of time, and have a place down in Los Angeles. But the Los Angeles Clippers are and will remain the Los Angeles Clippers.
Okay.